If you keep falling into bad habits, sins, whatever you want to call it, and you keep beating yourself up and you have absolutely no idea how to get about it, it's because you don't understand the fundamentals of habit systems. And I'm going to break down every single step in order to make sure that you do get the change that you want so that it could be long-term rather than just beating yourself up and getting nowhere. So we're going to talk about those 3 simple solutions step by step. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Ayyu. I've been working on my habits for the past 10 years. And what I do is I understand systems. I understand how you can put something in and how you can get something out. A lot of the things that we have right now is a lot of information, but we don't know about implementation. We have theory, but we don't know how to apply it in our personal lives. So I've been doing this for so long. I've been researching, and one of my habits is that I look into research that's currently being done. I cross-reference them, and I come up with a lot of beautifulness that you've never heard of before. So if you like to know more about this, make sure to stick around until the end. The number one thing that you need to do is acknowledge your shortcomings. But a lot of us have a very hard time with this because we do not like feeling bad. We don't like knowing that we're not the perfect human being that we thought we were. But when it comes to the habit loop, whenever you create a habit, it goes into your subconscious mind. When you were 16 and you were learning how to drive, it was really hard. You were using your conscious mind. You were thinking about, oh, I might fall, I might hit something, I might not pass this exam. But now you can mindlessly come to your home and not know how you even got there. Did you miss that turn? I don't know. You arrived safely. What has happened through this time is because you became an expert at it, your brain stopped thinking about it consciously, and now it's sitting in your subconscious mind. About 90 to 95% of every single thing that we do is automatic because it comes from the subconscious mind, and that's why it's so hard to break. So unless you bring it back into your conscious mind, you think about it, you process it, then it's not actually going to change. So you have to do that uncomfortable thing of bringing it back and thinking about it, and then you can change it. But if you do not do this step, it's not going to work, trust me. That's why a lot of research is currently showing that mindfulness is going to be the hack that you can use in order to change anything. There is this one book, and I love it. It is called The Craving Mind, and it talks about the use of cigarettes. And the one thing he told them, not change your behavior, but to actually just think about it and see why you're doing what you're doing. And a lot of times we're not bad human beings. We just have a desire for not feeling pain, for not feeling something, and to get a reward, a short-time relief from something. So once you start understanding that the solution that you have come up with of like smoking or eating chocolate or any sort of bad habit that you currently have, then you can actually change it. In this book, he mentioned something really interesting. So it is about the habit of breaking smoking, and smoking is one of the hardest habits to break. In this case, he told his patients just be mindful. And one of them was actually noticing he just didn't like that feeling in his teeth whenever he ate something or how it made him feel. Because of that simple fact, that mindfulness act that he did, he cut it down. Instead of actually smoking, what he started doing was brushing his teeth. And that simple replacement of behavior, once you acknowledge what you're trying to accomplish with this bad habit, you can change it with something else a lot faster. The second and important thing is to acknowledge that you are a human being. A lot of us don't do that. We want to be perfect. This perception of perfection that we have learned when we're in school, if you don't get straight A's, you're nothing, right? Your teachers are saying this, your parents are saying this. We aim to be perfect and not to be excellent. And excellence is about you striving regardless of how many times you fall down. So this perception issue, and that's why I say mindset is a big part of it. Mindset is everything. Everything that we do is based off of our triggers, but a lot of the information that we see online is about how to change this behavior, 100 ways to clean your room, 100 ways to do this. That's not going to work. Every single person has a different trigger. That's why some people can work out easily, start a business easily, have more discipline, because they have a different trigger than you do. So instead of changing that behavior and hoping that it sticks around, you have to figure out exactly what your trigger is and then acknowledge that you are a human being that will fail, that it won't work for in the beginning, but regardless of that, you will keep on showing up. So it's mostly a mindset issue, a perception issue, and unless you're able to get over that, you're not going to get far. In my Habit Systems Masterclass, I talk about beliefs, missions, feelings, and thoughts. These are the emotions that are actually keeping you from getting into the action step that is necessary for you to actually create the change. So a lot of people want to lose weight, but there's a lot of fear that happens. Even with me nowadays, I'm so scared to get into my kitchen in order to cook because my kids scream at me all the time. And I've associated that fear because I've been multitasking, I've been doing a lot of things, and now I literally have an emotional issue whenever I step into the kitchen. And there's little things like that in which our environment and our circumstances are impacting us, while somebody else who's making YouTube videos and is telling you, oh, this is how you're going to create your perfect morning routine, does not experience. So you have to customize it to you and your emotions and where you're coming from and your triggers, more importantly, rather than duplicating what everybody else is doing. And the last and most important step is to understand that there is a learning curve. In the beginning, you're not going to be perfect. You are learning. You've never done this before. And we talked about the example of driving in the beginning. But a lot of people get stuck. You do it once and you don't succeed at it. You go work out and it makes you feel bad. You eat that healthy food, it makes you feel bad. You try to pray and it makes you not feel focused, especially when it comes to meditation. A lot of us quit meditation or sitting still and not thinking or mind wandering because we feel uncomfortable in the beginning. The reason it feels uncomfortable in the beginning is because it's something new and there is a learning curve. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of expertise before you can actually plateau and it actually makes you feel good. So again, if you're stuck in those emotions, and I talk about this in my masterclass, the trigger, not the behavior. Stop blaming yourself, have mercy on yourself. There is a process to it, but in the beginning, it's going to be a learning curve where it's going to be really slow, it's going to increase, and then it's going to plateau to the point that you become an expert at it. But you have to give yourself grace in the beginning in order to actually get far in life. But a lot of us just quit in the beginning. We try something, it makes us feel bad, we get in our emotions, we feel like there's no reward, and we move on. So that's why I talk about habit systems a lot. You need to break it down so that it's actually digestible, so that in the beginning the goal is not too much, and then you can incrementally build on top of that. And this requires you to actually be present and to think about things and to process things. But in order to do that, you need to desire the new outcome that you want a lot more than the current situation that you're in. My favorite thing to do is to use my emotions for good. I'll give you a perfect example. I was on TikTok on 2 different accounts. One of them was generic, the other one was more Muslim focused. And one day it was not working for me. I got 0 views after 24 hours and I was so mad. So I posted a draft that I had on my other account, and now within 1 week I got 13,000 followers because I was so mad about it not working on the other one. You can use your emotions, you can use your current situations in order to actually change yourself. But what's happening is we are so focused on what else is going on out there. We focus on the negative, not the positive that we have. We focus on what other people have. We focus on the positives that everybody else has rather than the superpowers that you have. You have your own strength and you need to be focused on that. And your emotions and everything around you is able to support you in order to actually make that happen. So if you focus on these things, and it is hard, do not get me wrong, it is hard, but if you focus on them, then you will have a greater impact. But a lot of us focus on the cherry on top. We focus on like, okay, let me work out, but actually you have a finance issue because you're not getting paid enough and you're tired at the end of the day. There's a lot of little things, and that's why I focus more on habit systems rather than just focusing on the behavior. Changing the behavior is not going to be long term. You need to figure out what rewards that you want to get from it, as well as what emotional issues that you're having, what's happening in your childhood, what are you thinking. These are going to be the root of what makes change. But if you're not willing to go there, not much is going to happen. And the reason why is because 90 to 95% of the reason we do things, it comes from our subconscious mind. We are doing it automatically. And about 5 to 10% is actually coming from the conscious mind. So if you're not able to get it out, dig it out, and bring it up and change it, you're not gonna get far. That's just the reality of it. We gotta accept reality, you guys. I hope that was helpful, and I have all of my resources. I have a lot of free resources that you can use in order to learn deeply about this. But if you want to focus on the implementation, actually changing your life, I have a step-by-step system. I have 3 easy steps. Number 1 is for you to get the foundational knowledge. I've taken all of the research that I've come up with and I've compiled it in an hour and 15 minutes, and you can learn that real quick. This way you don't have to focus spending 80+ hours reading, cross-referencing all of this information. And then I show you in my guided planner how I break down my life from goals into tiny periodic habits so that I don't get overwhelmed and I enjoy every day of my life. And I also have a habit tracker that I've been working on for the past 3 years, and I'm telling you, there's nothing like this on the market, in which it's customizable, it's fun, it has emojis, you can change all of the colors and get in-depth data rather than getting all of these reminders from a bunch of apps that make you stressed out and you don't do anything about it. So I hope this was helpful, and stick around for more.